All right, guys. So today's product that we're going to talk about is a device that's made specifically to turn a pair of IEMs or your favorite IEMs into a pair of hi-fi true wireless earbuds. Now, it definitely sounds like something that we've seen before because we've checked out products like the FIO UTWS3 and the WS5. But iFi, which is the company that makes the GoPod Air, this is the device we're talking about today. They are a British hi-fi audio company known for their DACs and their amps. So the GoPod Air is essentially a Bluetooth transmitter, a DAC, and an amp all in one device. So with the Air, it's claiming it has all of the greatness of their GoPod series, just lighter than ever. There is an original standard version, and there's also a max version, which we'll get into this a little bit later. I want to save this for once we get into the price of the GoPod Air. But the GoPod Air supports all kind of high-end Bluetooth codecs. You have LDAC support, you have LHDC as long as you have a device that supports this. You have aptX adaptive playback, you have regular aptX playback, you have AAC, and then of course you have standard Bluetooth codec, which is SBC. But the Air also has an automatic impedance detection, which helps detect how much power it needs to push whichever IEM you have plugged in. So it can detect 16 ohms, it can detect 32, and it can also detect 64 ohms, where the original GoPod can detect up to 300 ohms, which essentially means that the original GoPod can power some more power-hungry IEMs. But I do feel like the GoPod Air, especially with the ones that it covers, is going to cover most of them anyway. I don't think I've ever had an IEM that I've tested that has gone up to 300 ohms. Now, the GoPod Air consists of basically this zippered fabric case, which technically becomes your true wireless earbud case. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan of it. I don't like the fabric material, and to me, it just kind of feels cheap. Now up front, it does have a USB-C port, and this is what you would use to charge it. And then when you open up the case, you can see it has a little pouch. Now right now I do have the USB-A to USB-C cable that's included in here. And this is what you use to actually charge the case. And the battery life on these, I would say, is just okay, because on the pods itself, you can get about 7 hours on a full charge. And with the charging case, you're gonna get about 15 hours total. And then the only other accessories it comes with is this MMCX adapter if you're using an IEM that uses this type of connection. And then of course it comes with a 2-pin adapter, which in my opinion I feel like is the most common. And that is what I have on them currently with the IEMs that I have connected to the pods. Now, if you are going to use the pods outdoors, it does come in with an IPX5 rating, so there is, some slight water protection. It's just not completely waterproof. So once you have the IEM connected to the pod itself, you simply just connect the pod to whatever device you're using like you would any other Bluetooth device. Now the Airs do use touch controls, and you can see the little sections on the outside of the pods here. I actually wish they would have used button control, because I feel like, especially with this being the part that sits behind your ear, if you need to adjust these, it's very easy to kind of accidentally tap them and have them pause the music, or change the track or the volume when it's not really what you're trying to get them to do. But I am happy to say that they do give you control over everything out of the box, which is nice. Again, I just wish that it was done with a physical button. Now these do work with the iFi Nexus app, which I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, the app sucks. The first thing they make you do is log into an account to actually be able to use the app. And secondly, I had to go in several times to get it to actually connect. It just didn't work the way that it was supposed to the first 10 times that I got it to try to do it. I almost actually just gave up on it altogether. And honestly, I probably could have, because really the only thing that the app does is, allow you to update the pods if you need to. It also allows you to choose which Bluetooth codec that you want to use, which mine defaulted to LDAC, which is the one that I would have chose anyway. And really, that's about it. I mean, it showed you what your controls were, but it didn't let you to switch around your controls. There was no EQ options in there to be able to switch the sound or kind of fine-tune it the way that you want to. And I really think that they could have done this, especially when it's a company that is known for their amps. They're known for being able to do stuff like this, but it doesn't allow you to do it within the app. Now, if you are going to use these for taking phone calls, there is a single mic located on each pod. And for the most part, I think it's okay. It's not anything fantastic, but you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here.
So here is a quick mic test outdoors. I can hear an AC unit over to the right. It's not really a windy day, but I do still hear some traffic. But this is just to give you an idea of what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public.
So as far as which IEM I chose, I went with the Opus X or OP24 that I recently reviewed on the channel. To be honest, the experience was surprisingly good. The pods do use a Cirrus Logic Master Hi-Fi DAC, and it's also using balanced amplification, and it really made the OP24 sound pretty comparable to what I was used to plugged into my desktop amp, which is the FIO K11. But with this, I was able to just have that experience on the go. And I think that is exactly what iFi is pushing here, and what they are trying to say is if you're an audiophile and you have IEMs that you just like to listen to at home, and that's just like your favorite pair and your favorite experience because you're getting amplification, you're getting all of these different features because you're plugged into something at home, well, here's a device that's trying to give you that all on the go without having to sacrifice sound quality. And a lot of audiophiles just think that true wireless earbuds are always a step down in sound quality, and for the most part, I do agree. Now, I am going to say that technology is getting better. They're getting pretty close to giving you a similar experience when it comes to audio quality compared to, being plugged into an amp sitting at your desktop, but it's still not there yet. So with saying that, let's go ahead and address the price. The GoPod Air comes in at $250. Now, keep in mind, this does not include the price of whatever IEM that you're going to plug into here. The original GoPod comes in at $399, and the Max comes in at $599. Now, the Max is using a different amplification system, but I am going to talk about the GoPod a little bit because it seems to be using the exact same amp and everything that the Air is using. But the difference is it comes with a better hard case that actually supports Qi wireless charging, and it also has that auto impedance detection that goes up to 300 ohms. So again, it's essentially giving your IEMs a little bit better power than what the Air is capable of. But from a price standpoint and also looking at compatibility, I would say that the Air is definitely the much better buy than the regular GoPod, unless you just have to have Qi wireless charging, or if you just have an IEM that really needs to have all of that power that, again, I don't think many people are going to have. So the big question is it worth it? And I'm going to say, to me, no. I have tested some very impressive true wireless earbuds that are going to have much better apps. They're going to have the same Bluetooth codecs. They're going to have way better battery life. In fact, I would even recommend the Status Pro X, which gives you one of the best audio experiences. And those come in at $250. So they're the same price as the GoPod Air before the other price of buying the IEM. And I think it's just a much better, well-rounded product. Just in general, it's giving you sound quality that I don't think a lot of people understand can be done with true wireless earbuds. And then again, all of the other features that you're not necessarily going to get with the GoPod Air. But I do understand the audiophiles or the people that just love their IEMs. They love the sound that they get, and they just want that same experience on the go. And I think that's why a product like the GoPod Air exists. And for those people, yeah, maybe it is worth it. And I had no issues with it working other than the fact that the app was awful. Again, I do feel like the case feels a little cheap. I would have liked to have had a hard case instead of the fabric zippered case. But that's just a personal complaint. So for me personally, I just don't see myself spending $250 to then pair it with a much more expensive IEM when I understand that there's some really good true wireless options out there already. But guys, that's my video on the iFi Audio GoPod Air. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.